Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening.
Can we lay down a funky beat?
Yeah.
Yo, let's kick it.
All right, welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast.
Hell yeah.
I'm your host, North, or Jason Smith.
And I'm Brandon Frazier, or Daveen Alwyn.
And I am Chris, or Eric the Red. I am the ambassador.
Nice.
Okay. Maybe you should add at the beginning
I'm
of
the
your
Chancellor. Name. And I'm the Chancellor.
Yeah, I don't really have a cool title. Dang.
I'm the Lord of Night Watch.
Oh, wow. You're really bringing back some memories right now.
I'm the American badass.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Well, fair enough.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
So today is, someday.
It's
Today's Sunday, May 21st.
Sunday.
That is true. Sunday, May 21st.
Sunday, May 21st.
2-1.
And I think it went pretty good today. It was fun.
Yeah, I
nice
think so
temperature today.
Yeah.
No lightning trying to kill us.
I know. I will never ask that again, ever.
I mean, I think you provoked it last week,
Yo,
honestly.
it was like, instead of using taunt, I used that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we don't even say that phrase
Yeah,
anymore.
no.
Mm-mm. It's just not worth it.
That's a banned phrase.
Yep. I agree.
We have banned that.
Just like I banned flails way back in the day. I hated flails.
Oh, and
They were
guns?
cheating. Oh, well, I
Do you
didn't.
know?
I didn't get that choice, but I tried.
Did you know that we have even since we've come back, probably 3 or 4 times people have asked about flails?
No. Mm-mm.
No, not happening.
No, because here's the issue, right? It's with flails, and I don't know if we really want to get into this right now, but
You
we
banned
will.
them?
Yeah. Well, they're gone, so it's really not even an argument. But there was basically two ways to make a flail, right? With either a fixed cord, which was dangerous because if it wraps around somebody, that's bad, right? And the other way was to make them with pantyhose with knots. But the problem is that over time, a 40-inch flail would soon become a 55-inch flail. Like they just stretched way too much.
Yeah.
And so we just basically said it wasn't worth it, and we're done with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's better off that way, personally. So
I agree.
I agree too.
There
It
you go.
also eliminates the whole issue with like even when flails were a thing, there's this there was the possibility that your flail could get wrapped up around like a sword, and if that happened,
True.
people would be like, "Oh well, like
Yeah.
if I rip your flail in half or whatever, then that's the risk you take."
Of course, that would create conflict because you just
Right.
ripped my flail in half, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's kind of how people did it. Like they'd be like, "Well, hey, I'm not supposed to I'm not gonna sit here and untangle your flail from my sword." And so if it got wrapped around somebody's sword, I think they were trying to rip it in half.
Oh, yeah.
Like
It would almost start to happen on purpose where
Yeah,
people would
right.
try to get it to wrap around their sword, and it's just not how I want to play Phlarp.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
And even when that wasn't happening, like you were saying, all you'd have to, it's kind of easy mode weapon. Basically, you sit there and just whack with it 3 or 4 times. And one of those times, if it stretches over the shield or the weapon or whatever and comes around, hits him in the shoulder or the arm or whatever, it's done. You're basically beat,
Right. And then, of course, like, how am I supposed to articulate whether or not your flail touched my shield? Like, of course it touched. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it just was a weapon that it was really difficult to calculate hits on or not.
Yeah.
So, and then of course then you have flail pole arms. Like it just
Mm-hmm.
it got dramatic. But I'm glad they're gone. So
Right.
I was
Anyway.
never a fan of flails.
yeah,
I wasn't.
they're just dangerous. Especially
Mhm.
for a Phlarp game where
Mhm.
safety's priority.
Yeah. They always anytime somebody used it on me, it was like, I don't know, I got angry because it's like, one, dude, you have no control over where that end hits.
True.
So if you hit me in the face, I'm kind of, going to get upset, and
Right.
that thing's going to get torn in a bunch of little pieces.
Fair enough.
So I totally agree.
Yeah, I was never
Ban the hell out of it.
a fan of them. But when I when they first was come up as an issue or whatever, they were still easily definable, or the category was, until, like you said, that became like, now it's like, well, your flow can stretch, so the overall length's not really a good measurement unless you have a harder, like you
You would
said,
have to put a cord in it.
non-stretchy core,
It
which
just-
then makes a thing that you can like swing and wrap around stuff, and it's just a nightmare basically. So,
Yep, agreed.
Totally.
and that's why flails got banned.
Big X.
That's why, for sure.
All
Well,
right.
I got something for you guys.
What you got, brother?
Daveen's Corner.
Nice.
Yeah!
Daveen's Corner.
Okay.
I'm ready to laugh.
You better.
Okay.
I picked out some good jokes
Yeah,
this
yeah.
week, okay?
All right.
You got your depends on, bro?
Yes.
All
You gotta
right.
poop yourself.
Here we
Nice.
go. The first one, because I got two. I got two jokes.
2.
The
Okay.
first
three?
joke. No, not 3. 2 jokes.
2 jokes.
I'm gonna pick a favorite.
All right. The first one is, the man who invented knock-knock jokes should get a Nobel Prize.
That's pretty good.
That's
That-
the first
that-
one.
that was good.
Okay.
That was
all right.
good.
The second one is, what's the difference between ignorance and apathy?
I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't care.
Okay.
All right, which
The
one's
second
better,
one
bro?
was my favorite.
I
The second one was my favorite, I think.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So there you go. There's
I'm gonna
mean,
steal that. one.
Daveen's Corner.
Nice,
Hell
Daveen's
yeah.
Corner. Woo.
I mean, both of them. This week you brought it.
I really brought it
You
this
brought
week.
it because
Okay.
those were.
Well, what I've been trying to do is kind of go with like a fantasy themed
Yeah.
jokes, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just realizing they're just not as funny as I want them to be.
I tell you what though, you nailed it. So
Hey, appreciate it.
on point, bro.
Appreciate the support.
Hell yeah.
We'd rather it be funny than on theme. It's okay.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, right on. I'll remember that
Yeah.
for next week.
Now, I have a question.
Okay. Thank you for
Let's-
announcing that you have a
let's-
question prior to asking it.
Yes. So let's continue on with Daveen's Corner
Okay.
because last week we got notification before we recorded.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I don't know that this is part of my segment.
This is part of your segment because you said it was going to.
All right. Here we go.
We're doing it.
All right.
All right. We got notification throughout last week or the week before, whatever,
Whatever. It was a couple weeks ago.
a couple weeks ago that, hey, you have to come with 2 truths and a lie.
That's true.
Now, this is part of Daveen's Corner.
Okay, I agree with that.
So we're still sticking with Daveen's Corner.
Yeah.
Daveen's
Okay,
Corner.
right on. So,
Oh.
so should I run the game? They'll give their 2 truths and a lie, whatever order they want. The other 2 have to guess which one is the lie. That's how the
Okay.
game works.
That's how the game works.
Yep. Do you guys want me to go first? I'm happy to, or I can
It's
wait.
Daveen's Corner, so
All right.
Daveen has to go first.
And then
Here we
what?
go.
You just tell us whether we won or not by whether we guessed it right or not at the end of it? Or?
Right.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We can do it after each individual person if you guys
Mhm.
want to.
Okay.
So here are my 3. Remember, 2 truths, 1 lie.
2 truths. One
All
lie.
right. So here we go. I don't have it. You can look if you want, but I don't have it labeled lie and truths because I know which one's the lie.
Because I did.
All right. Here we go. The first one is my dad has his pilot's license. The second one is my household has 3 pets. 3 pets. And the last one is I've left the country 3 times. Let me know if you need them repeated. And thank you for staring at my face as I read them.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm. I try not to give up anything, but it's hard sometimes. So, what do you
Okay.
think? What do you think? You got your pick locked in? Do you need to see?
am
I
I
got
pick-
it written down.
So
if you guys,
am I just picking the lie?
Yeah, whatever one you think is a lie, and I specifically put them in the order I put them in. So here you go. What do you think? One of these is not true. I mean, you guys got to come up with something. We got dead air here.
I would say. I know. I'm thinking. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Okay, this is my reasoning.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, obviously, which one
Right,
it is.
right.
Okay.
I'm going to cover my face because I feel like my face is a dead giveaway, no matter what he says.
I cannot remember you ever saying anything about leaving the country. That it seems like such a weird. Okay. This is weird how you did it because you could be telling the truth about like Like you could have 2 pets and make it so that it's easy to make that lie by
That is true.
just changing it to a 3, you know.
Right.
But it's the same thing with the country thing.
True.
Like you could have left 2 times and
The
be telling the
numerical
truth.
ones are the hardest for sure.
Right.
See, here's my
But
problem.
you don't seem like much of a pet person. But you said household, so it may not be your pet.
True. Also true.
And it could just be 2.
Could be.
Here's my problem.
Or it
I
could
have-
be 3.
Yeah.
You never know.
I
And
have
that
not.
could just be truth. Yeah.
I have not known Brandon as long as you have.
True.
So I mean, there's a little bit of information that I'm lacking, but the thing is I do know that he always talks about his cat.
That's true.
He always talks about his cat.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
I, like you, I've never heard him talk about leaving the country. However, I've not ever heard him talking about his dad having a pilot's license. But I do know that he always talks about how his dad has a Corvette.
That is true.
So, this is where I run into, are these all 3 a lie?
Mm.
All 3 could be a lie.
No.
They're definitely not. There's one
But-
lie and 2 truths there. I promise that.
My pick
Yeah.
is my pick is your lie is
Yeah.
that you have left the country 3 times.
Okay.
Okay?
What about you, North?
I'm going to get radical and pick that your dad does not have his pilot's license.
One of you is correct. And it is North. My dad does not have his pilot's license.
Good job, bro.
Good job,
I
guys.
just
okay,
went
so
like radical with it.
So I got to ask, you've left the country 3 times.
true.
Where have you been?
So I technically went to Canada,
Okay.
Victoria, Canada, actually, which was pretty cool. And then the other 2 times I went to different places, but I've been to the Bahamas twice, which technically left the country. I've
Yeah.
also been to Grand Turk. I've been to now this was on 2 of these where they were cruises, but
Okay.
I've been to Grand Turk. I've been to St. Thomas. Like I said, I've definitely been to Nassau and another place in the Bahamas as well. But on 3 different occasions, I've left the country. So
Awesome.
there you go. Good job, guys.
I mean, I've left the country more than.
Well, you have 2 truths and a lie still, so let's get to one of those. Now I'm excited to play the other side of the game.
You want me to go?
Yeah, why
Okay.
not? North can go last.
Yeah, good, because I'm blanking on my 3rd one. I know the 2, but I can't remember.
This guy.
Okay.
Don't look.
No, I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
My first one is
I'm looking.
I am a Bronze Star recipient. I have had to help investigate a homicide, like searching for the murder weapon,
Okay.
and I was a former god.
Like self-proclaimed, just to be clear. Like
I can't.
Like you're literally a
I can
deity?
ask questions. Okay, first off, what is a bronze medal? What is that?
A Bronze Star.
Yeah, that.
The Bronze Star is whenever you go above and beyond the Call of Duty to facilitate any movements and in combat.
Okay.
It is a medal that is awarded by the Army.
All right. And the other one was that you helped look for a murder weapon and a homicide.
Yes.
And then the last one was that you were a former god.
Yes.
I don't. Okay. Again, self-proclaimed. Like this is really throwing me off here. All right.
Well,
Good,
here's
because
the
like my
thing.
thinking is obviously he's not literally been a god.
Right.
So
well, right. So that's
the
definitely
easiest one
true.
to jump on is the
One of the other two,
It was
yeah,
not a former god. You
Yeah.
sound- you know, as the lie. But is he saying? Are you saying
Well, that's the thing is you
like an
never
actual
asked,
god?
like.
Hmm.
I'm,
And then
So
he's
with
like, I
this
told
one-
the truth. I
This
was
is
a god.
tough, man. This is tough.
I can't give anything.
I mean, that
away,
is
so,
true
I
in the
mean,
context of the game. Okay, so in the game, he was like you said,
He was a former god.
self-proclaimed
Right.
god.
Okay. So
right?
let's eliminate that one. That one's got to be truth, right?
Okay, and the way he went into details about the other one, except for maybe he was floundering a little bit.
Yeah.
But it also sounded like maybe that detail was added because that was a legit thing. So
Right.
what was the other one? A Bronze Star, and I don't want to call it out and be like,
You
well, that's
didn't
the
receive
lie.
no Bronze Star. I will say this. It's definitely one of the other two. I think I will go with you did not receive a bronze star. That's my guess. That is a very specific thing, so I think I might be wrong, but I'm going to go with you did not receive a bronze star. That's my guess.
I'll go with the homicide. You did not actually investigate the homicide with the weapon.
Okay, so one of you are correct.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me so hard? Am I correct? Did I win again?
No.
Yes! No!
I did not receive a bronze star.
That was a good one to pick for the lie, dude.
I agree.
The highest one that I received was the Army Commendation Medal.
Okay.
See,
I don't know nothing about these,
Yeah.
so I don't know like how prestigious that award is or anything like that. I just kind of took a shot in the
like
dark.
a bronze star, silver star. Those are very prestigious.
Okay.
Right up there with Purple Hearts, things like that, and of course, Medal of Honor.
Sure.
That's the highest that you would ever. I wouldn't say that you would want to receive, because 9 times out of 10, you receive it posthumously. Is that the correct term?
I don't know.
It means
After
I
death.
believe you
dead.
because I don't know
After
the word.
death.
I know what the
Gotcha.
word means,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I really did help search for a murder weapon while I was in the academy,
That's pretty
the
cool.
police academy. They got all of us on the bus, and we went out. What is it? D. That's back there on the backside of the college.
I'm not sure, but I know what you're talking about.
But
O, I think, is back
okay.
there.
Oh,
or
so you
I
take
think- I
O
don't
to
know.
D
Yep.
right there at the St. Jen area.
Yep.
And St. Jen County.
Yeah, he's
asked us
talking
to
about
help.
like almost back there where the that little Mennonite.
Yeah, but you, instead of going that way where it was, you actually make a left and go
Oh,
back
okay.
there.
Okay, fair enough.
Um,
But I know the area.
Yeah, we were back there. They asked us to help them because they had somebody that
Gadded somebody clearly.
they had somebody in custody and said that they threw it out the window in that area.
Was it found?
We did not find it. No.
Okay, well that sucks. Hopefully they got him anyway. But
Yeah.
all
So,
right. Well,
It's on
you're
you,
up.
brother.
What do you got?
All right. So,
Got to get in his brain here. Look at him right in the eyes when he's telling this.
I never finished 8th grade. That's my first one.
Okay.
The second one is, you guys, my heart is beating so hard. You guys are giving me a lot of pressure here.
All right.
The second one is, I have an actual Feet Finder account.
Okay.
Okay. And then the third one is, I went to jail for 6 months.
Okay. So I'm gonna help you out a little bit. Okay, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
All right. Can you repeat the first one for me?
I never passed 8th grade.
Okay. This is tough because we got a lot of specific things here, and also I have some inside information here.
Hold on.
I know Jason spent some time in jail. I just don't know how long. That's
Okay.
the first thing.
Here,
Okay.
I'm listening to you, but we actually had to do this in the police academy, and it was for like court procedures.
Right. I do know that whenever
want
they
you-
look left.
Yes, I want you to look at me,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and I want you to give me your 2 truths and a lie.
Again?
Yes.
Okay. I never made it past 8th grade.
Okay.
I have an actual Feet Finder account, and I was in jail for 6 months.
Okay.
Did my micro?
I don't know. That doesn't help me at all. But what I'm going to say is, even though it's very specific and I kind of believe it, gosh, I don't know. This is tough. I will say that the lie is that you didn't pass 8th grade, even though it's like so wild that I think it's probably true. That's what I'm going to go with.
What's yours?
I think he literally has a Feet Finder account. And
yeah.
the reason I believe that, okay, is because earlier he was giving me details about like the sign up stuff.
The
and, like,
banana split. Yes, and
Yeah.
how no, I agree with that
So
one.
what do you think?
I'm split between the not passing 8th grade.
Right. Which honestly, it's so specific and like so wild that it could be true. Right.
Well, okay.
But I
said he
know he spent time. I just don't know how long. So that the length of time could be wrong.
And here I'm on the same boat with that. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The first time he said it, he was trying to divert. Like he looked left and then he's like, and he looked right. And then
I
when
will
he
say
says
he plays mind games, so he may have been trying to make us think that he was thinking of a lie, but he also may have been diverting. I don't know.
But here's another thing. His left eye was twitching,
Mm.
and then when I had him look at me, his cheek was twitching so hard that he looked like a fucking
did
tweaker,
twitch.
bro.
It did twitch.
Like
so what's
twitched
your
hard.
pick? So what's your pick? I'm gonna stick with the lies that you didn't pass 8th grade.
I'm going to say that it's the jail for 6 months because I believe that it wasn't 6 months.
It may not have been. I don't remember the length of time. That's the problem. So
I think that he was trying to throw me off with the exact amount of time.
it could be. All right. Well, that's what we
So-
locked it in. What do you?
Okay, one of you is right.
Okay.
So I do have an actual feed finder account.
Yeah,
Yeah, we know
know
that. We know that.
We knew that for
So
sure.
it's out now, bro. Everybody
Okay.
knows.
I actually created it specifically for this game, so
Oh.
I could use it to throw you guys off,
Which
and
is
then
funny,
it didn't do
it
anything.
Failed
yeah,
miserably.
Like that
It's
was the one you
because
guys weren't actually
earlier, the
considering.
only reason I think it failed so hard is because earlier you were
I was,
giving
like,
me
mentioning
details that you should
specific-
not
Yeah.
have known.
I thought I shouldn't have said anything. Anyway, okay, so that didn't work. The lie is basically exactly what you said. It's the length of time, except I was actually in there longer. I was in there 7.5 months.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
I just changed
well, hey,
the time,
good job, teamwork.
essentially. So yeah, good job.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
Yeah,
good job.
sorry. I
Hell
wasn't trying to
yeah,
leave
hell
you
yeah,
hanging
hell
there.
yeah.
All right.
Well,
So I got
you
it?
win. Yeah, you win. You got
You
it.
win that one.
I got
Good
that
job,
one.
man.
Good
well,
job.
okay. Well, the game is over, and for the second time, that's Daveen's corner.
Hey, Daveen's corner.
All right.
Now we gotta come up with a cool game like that. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was actually fun. I liked it.
And it cost $15. I mean, it was the whole year.
He's like really upset about it.
So for
This is the
shout
whole
out
year.
for
Hold
feet
on.
finders.
I got this.
Hell yeah.
I'll let you guys figure out what my
You know what?
handle is, though. I didn't tell anybody like how to find me.
Wait, hold on. Are you planning on putting content up on this page?
If you find it, you'll know.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
You can tell from the picture that it's me.
Oh,
Like with my
stop
face
it.
isn't in it, but you can tell from like the
Well, I hope
context.
not. It's a feet finder account.
So there's a
Unless he had his feet by his face.
well,
yeah.
you can't. Some people put their their
Put their
face in it.
feces up there.
Not their feces.
There's
That's a
probably
different.
a whole
That's
separate.
a different. Yeah.
That's feces finder account. That's different.
Bye bye.
Right.
Fair enough.
Oh,
I just couldn't remember the
I'm not
length
gonna.
of time.
I'm not
man.
going to tell anybody what the actual handle is, though. But
That's
yes, it's
disappointing.
legit.
Why wouldn't you tell
Because
us?
I think they can find it if they try
I
real
mean,
hard.
I'm not gonna look. That's
it's
just
probably like
I'm good.
literally Norse feet something. We'll
Wait,
check it out.
Wait, you know what? And
Yeah,
he
but do I
told-
have to download a feet finder account to search for it?
I don't know.
It's just
I don't
not.
know,
It's not
as
worth
a-
the $15.
The sad part
You
is,
don't want to
is
become a subscriber?
No, I don't
he
think so.
told me, like a month ago, he told me what he was gonna call it.
Oh my God, that's freaking
God.
hilarious.
Yeah, I went
Now-
out in the grass and held like a I couldn't find a 4-leaf clover, so I just held like a 3-leaf clover or whatever, and I held it between both my big toe and my my middle toe
Oh
or
my
whatever,
goodness
jeez.
gracious.
on both feet, and held it up like this.
Hey,
took
we'll
a
check
picture
that
of
every
it.
so often.
It's
Maybe you'll
nice.
get some requests
Yeah,
for some
maybe,
pretty
hey.
crazy stuff. You'll make some money.
Yeah.
Banana
Now,
split.
my question is,
Now I have 3 jobs.
if you used North's name, right?
Mhm.
That's Phlarp's money. If you used your real name, that's your own money. But I'm just saying.
I'm just saying Phlarp might be entitled to some of that money then, because there might be a connection.
Right, right.
So-
Well, that makes sense. Fair enough.
Oh man, jeez.
Pretty funny. Pretty funny stuff.
I was on there like last night, like trying to create, and it was like, oh, you got to wait 48 hours for age verification. I was like, no. And then it like immediately, it was basically immediately it verified my age or whatever, so I was able to create one.
Perfect.
Wow. All right.
Well, hey, you know what?
So shout out.
Props to doing all that just for this game.
yeah, just
that
so
is
much.
amazing. Appreciate it.
Although I should have kept my mouth shut, like you said, and not given any details whatsoever.
And to be fair, also my knowledge of your past didn't really help me. So because I was
'Cause
missing
you-
a key detail.
Mhm.
And you knew I had been in jail. That was almost like threw you off a little bit.
Yeah.
too.
All in the details.
Mm-hmm. He even told me about how he made hooch,
Oh yeah, that's right.
which is disgusting. I couldn't. There's no way. Maybe if
Nah.
I was bored enough and I'd been there for 7.5 months, but
Yeah.
I don't think so, man.
I didn't actually make it though. It was somebody else, and we agreed to let them make it in our cell
Mm,
so that we'd get some of it.
gotcha.
And then they did a search, and the
They
guy
found
looked down
it.
there and he said, "Hey, what's that under there?" I said, "That's hooch." Like that. And he said, "Oh yeah, well get it out of there."
What do you think it is?
To be fair, like at least because I worked at a prison for a little while. Anytime we found anything like that, usually people don't get in trouble. It's like a dump it or take the write up,
Yeah,
and
they
they're like,
just-
"We'll dump it."
They
Yeah.
just made us lock down for 3 days. That was it. I didn't get in any like additional trouble, basically.
That's fair. And to be fair, I also don't really know all that well how jail works because jail and prison are obviously two very different things. So
Yeah.
Then I'm glad I didn't go with the prison because that was going to be one. At one time I thought just say that I was in prison instead of jail, but then I was afraid you'd ask me like follow-up questions, and I'd be like, I have no idea.
yeah, and I would have known too because I knew he wasn't in there that long. And in order to go to prison, you have to be in there a year or longer. So that would have been. It's good that you didn't do that.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Either way.
Well, that was fun.
So what's
at least
up?
for me?
So for prison, it's actually a year and a day. Am I correct?
Probably. I'm not sure on if it's 365 or 366 days, but either way, it's
Yeah.
on that line.
Yeah.
Like they don't bother to send you to prison for.
No, and
Less
honestly,
than
from
that.
what I've heard, most jails are worse than prison as far as like cleanliness and
Yeah.
living conditions. So
In some ways, yeah.
Cook
I've
County?
Heard,
I mean,
know that.
you say in some ways, but like again, I worked at the prison and they have cable TV in their rooms, and
Mhm.
like it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used
so-
to go like exercise and do things, and
Yeah, they get like intramural basketball leagues in
Mhm,
prison, and they get more rights than the workers do, honestly. So
Yeah.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
All right. Well, let's do a recap.
You want to recap?
I do
Yeah.
want to recap.
Well, this recap is for Sunday, May 21st, 2023, which we already discussed, but I wanted to say it again.
Okay.
Just
We
to reiterate.
started with a last man standing.
Oh, yes.
We did, which we typically do that.
Okay.
In this
Mhm.
particular last man standing, in first place, now let's go backwards. In third place was Magnus. Third place.
Third place.
Magnus, congratulations
Third
on your
place.
third place. Third place. I know you
We're
will
just
watch this, but
embracing
third
it
place.
now.
In second place was Raven Shadow Weaver.
Okay.
And in first place was the wizard Heston Iverson.
All right. Congratulations to
That
those.
was last man
Mm.
standing.
I wonder how many in a row Heston has placed in.
I don't know, man.
At least.
I don't know. To each their own. I'm impressed that he continues to place. So I feel like I've done everything I could possibly do to convince people, but it's okay. Like I respect
He
it
must
in
be
a
doing
way.
something right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. He's staying back out of the combat, and partially because he's a wizard. Like if I'm a wizard, especially a
go out
low
there and
level
just-
wizard,
right.
I probably don't want to go fighting everybody either. But it's just like amazing to me that nobody engages him until the end of the game. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well now I have all of my abilities and one person to kill.
Mhm.
And so it's impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's making it work. So congratulations to Heston on first place and last man standing.
Yep.
Um,
He
After- yeah, go
he
ahead.
wields that shocking ability pretty well too.
Yeah.
The way it works, it does make it to where, like, if he uses it at the right time, the people he's using it against don't expect it. They're
Right.
like, oh, they're just gonna get stunned or whatever, and then he's like shocking, and you're like, oh wow, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
which, to be fair,
I
if
saw
he
him use
was like a warrior and he was using a pole
You would have
arm,
been dead
it would
anyway.
have been dead anyway.
Yeah.
But still,
Mhm.
it is. He does use it well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He absolutely does. And I mentioned this earlier too, but I was talking to his clan lord, Rand Rainwalker.
Mhm.
I believe it was last week, and he was telling me that Heston was interested in using quarterstaff, which is basically just a staff that is got two sides to it, so you can whatever. And I found one at a friend's house that used to LARP, Ulbrich or Fenric.
Mhm.
If-
Stormborn, but Fenric had a different last name. I think.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was now, which
Did he have one?
basically makes me a horrible friend, but that's fine. I'm sure he did.
I mean, we all know
He
you're
doesn't
a-
make care. First off, rude.
Something breaker. Something
Maybe
something breaker. I guess.
that also could have been Dexter. Either way, doesn't matter. The point is, I got this quarterstaff.
This
I
was
brought it to
Stormweaver.
Heston. Stormweaver. You're right. I'll ask him after the podcast what it was. Actually, I might ask him during the podcast. We'll see.
Okay.
But I stopped by his house. I found this quarterstaff, and I brought it to Heston to let him try it out today. And I think he liked it. So
Cool.
he was using it the way it was meant to be used. I do think it needs repaired, but before he used it, it needs repaired.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
So, does anybody else want to share this with me, or you want me to just read it?
I will ask. Did anybody like? I know we're kind of in the middle of. I don't know. We'll just do that at the end. Go ahead.
Okay.
What's the next one?
So then we had a patrol because we had 2 new players today.
Awesome.
Cool.
One of which his name was Lilith, and then ironically the other was Esther. So.
And I mean, I know we're kind of doing that right now, but shout out to them both because at first they were thinking about not participating, but then they decided to go ahead and give it a shot.
They both
so.
did. They were both kind of
It
on
was
the
really
fence,
cool.
and it looked like they had a good time.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
I think they both had fun. So.
I know that I spoke with Esther because that is technically right now it's Trinity and Marshall Thera's granddaughter.
Is it
It's
Thera or
Thyra.
Thyra?
Thyra.
It's complicated.
Thyra.
Okay,
Yeah,
Thyra. I think it's Thyra.
I asked her at one point. I think it's Thyra. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Okay, so Thyra,
So it's their granddaughter.
that's her granddaughter.
Okay. Cool.
So
And I do think, by the way, if I didn't tell you already, I think that's whose headphones that got left today was Esther's.
They were. She was wearing them, but they were ours. Like
Oh.
I gave them to her to listen to the instructional video.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So
Okay, so I stand
right.
corrected. All good.
okay.
I just saw her wearing them. That's
Right.
So okay.
Yeah.
So that was good. I thought patrol went well today.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I know
Um,
they were actually like smiling, laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Esther was just like, "I did it again." So I was like, "Hey, you just learn from it."
Yeah.
So
And I wish, I know like you guys are kind of on the other side of things and you don't
Mhm.
always get to see like what I say on the other end, but I really made sure to every single detail that I could think of. I talked to the starting goblins or the
Mhm.
paper
I
goblins.
saw them.
Mhm.
They did a
I
good
told
job.
them to even like separate, make sure one of them gets each of them. I told
Right.
them all of that. And I just thought it went really well. I used new people as my bodyguards. I'm trying to like mix it up a little bit so like nobody feels any kind of particular way about it.
Mhm.
And I thought it went really well, especially because I think people are a little bit uncomfortable with like the new area for
yeah,
for the
'Cause we weren't
patrol.
our traditional.
So I am
area.
curious, and maybe that can be our question for the week on the YouTube channel. Put in the comments what you thought about the patrol. What could we do better? Or did you think it was great?
Yeah.
No changes. Whatever you think about it, let us know.
Mhm.
yeah,
Sure.
'Cause that
definitely.
is something that I try to take pride in, at least on the weeks that I'm kind of in control of it. So
Mhm.
And I'd be interested to hear what people think about where we should do patrol. Should we be at Pavilion 5? It's the one that one of the reasons why, because when I found out the other Pavilion 3 was reserved, which is the one we normally play at, I went ahead and said, well, we'll play it in 2 because I was thinking I can do initiations there pretty good or patrols. But there is one pavilion up near the front of the park, and I didn't pick that one, although people had said they kind of enjoyed that one because we got further out in the front of the park.
yeah,
Is
you're talking about the main one in the front.
yeah, up by where they're
You
kind
come
of
in the
crossing
park,
the
you make a
pool.
left. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious of what people think would be a good place or how to do initiation from that side.
You
Like
would have
where
to
the
do it like
monsters come from.
across, like over, almost like
maybe
on the
where
other
the
side
river,
of the bridge.
Yeah.
like right, have them hide maybe in the riverbed and come up out of
Maybe.
there or
It
something.
could be kind of dangerous
but
with that too.
True,
Yeah.
true.
We'll have to think about that.
I mean, like they could
Cluster up under
kinda
the
have,
bridge and
like,
just come out and no, I'm just
the
joking.
2 paper goblins could like be on the near side of the bridge,
Mhm.
and then once they slay them, then they're able to go to the next step across the
Maybe, yeah.
bridge and then go.
We could probably
So,
do
I
something
mean,
like that. Yeah.
That could be another option. So yeah, no, definitely. I feel that our listeners should leave us
Let
a
us know in
comment
the
and-
comments,
yeah.
what you think would be a good way to do initiation or a patrol, I guess, whenever we're up on that front pavilion. So
Definitely.
And then also, if we're doing shout outs right now, I also want to shout out. We had one of our marshals is unfortunately just not healthy right now. Wasn't able to make it today. And Rose really stepped up today. Made sure to give us a written list of all the events, the winners of the events, and all those things. So shout out to Rose. Thank you very much for doing what you did today.
yeah, we
Yes,
really
thank you,
appreciate
Rose.
it.
And
Just makes our job
piggybacking off that,
easier now.
Um,
So.
I definitely want to say, well wishes to our marshal Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
She has pneumonia. She's doing what she has to do. They're giving her IV antibiotics.
Yep. And she was on oxygen up until today. They took her
Yeah.
off oxygen altogether. So
Yeah. So, well wishes to her. We want to see her back out next week in a healthy condition.
absolutely.
So
She was missed. I mean,
she
anytime you
was.
lose a marshal, it's like losing a part of your team, and everybody else had to step up. And honestly, they did. I was very happy with that. So, but
Yeah.
anyway,
I agree.
so
All right.
let's see. After that, we did a scramble, and we may even have extended the time a little bit on that. I think it was a little bit longer today because people seem to be having a good time.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you do. You set like a 30-minute marker, and then if
Yeah.
everyone's kind of done, we call it. If everyone's having a good time, maybe we extend it by 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So-
if their rage meters aren't getting too full or
Right,
whatever.
right. And sometimes that does happen, especially when
Yeah,
it's
they get
really hot.
and
Yeah.
right. You know, makes sense.
And speaking of which, I was amazed we went through all that water today. But
Yeah, it was almost full cooler.
but it was
of
almost like a
water.
perfect amount, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also on that note, if you need me to pick up a case of water before I come down every week, just make sure to put it in like one of the marshal's chats or whatever, and
Okay.
I'm happy to add to the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Let's see. After that, we did the team deathmatch game. Does anybody want to kind of explain how that works?
Yeah,
ahead.
so what we do is we split everybody up. We figure out who all's playing so that we can kind of figure out how
we
many
know the
teams we're
total
going to
number
have
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how we're going to split them. And then we split up their teams, and then we let a marshal cover a team with a counter. So like whenever that anybody from that team comes up to res, we click on a counter, and whenever that counter hits 25, then that team can no longer res. Essentially give them 25 lives plus their initial starting lives, basically.
Yep. And so like it's kind of a cool concept though, because they don't know what their life counter is, and it's not always 25. We could change it at any given point.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're not really keeping track of their lives because
And we
there's
don't
no
tell
point
them
to
or
it.
anything.
So they'll be like, come up to res, and then when they're out of lives, you're like, hey, you're out of lives, go back to the tavern, and you're not allowed to tell your teammates or
Yep.
anything, and so they just have to
observe
figure it
yeah.
out,
Yep.
which I think is a really neat concept.
Mhm.
And today, I went ahead and split up the teams myself to try to make it as even as possible. And to be fair, I thought it was pretty fair. There was
It
not a
was.
team with a single life left. So
They were all down to their last
Yeah.
lives.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I had Raven, Aja, Heimdall, and
Trinity,
Trinity.
which is who won
Good memory.
Team Deathmatch,
And
by
they
the
were
way.
the one that
They ended up winning.
Ah.
So
They ended up winning on their last life.
yeah, they had no more lives left.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't have gone res.
And
So-
there was a
So-
lot of like I don't know which one to pick out for like play of the day, but I killed so many people. No, I'm just joking.
yeah, that's usually the joke.
Wow.
But there
Why
were a
don't you
lot
make
of
that
really
the
cool
joke of the
deaths.
day?
Hopefully the video.
I will say this: I don't remember who threw it. I think it was Magnus, but I remember watching a throw kill that just barely went behind Lord Reese's shield during an event. And I mean, it was one of the coolest
like
thrown
threading-
weapon kills
Was
I've
it
ever
when
seen.
somebody said, "Oh, that was threading the needle there"?
Oh yeah,
They said that
perfect.
right after.
It was literally the perfect throw.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. So that would be my vote for play of the day. Would be Magnus's throw on, ironically enough, his own Lord Reese.
Nice.
So
Yeah. I seen
He
one.
even just to kind of add on that. Sorry. he had something else he was doing. I guess it was like something. I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
Right.
First of all, it was kind of neat. He was like making sure that he was having through some of his throwies. Like he said, "Oh Lord" or something, and he threw him a throwie at one point and was like making sure that he had. I don't know if it was a certain throwie or what their deal was there, but he was actually giving some throwies back to Reese, just because they were like. They were in the same clan together,
Yeah.
even though they weren't working together. He was being cool about making sure that he got some of the throwies too. I guess because they were
Right.
sharing them.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I
And I thought it was kinda cool.
really,
It's like
really
even though they
enjoy-
were fighting, I mean, they were not working together.
Yeah.
but-
Right.
No, I get it. I was just trying to think that I like the dynamic in their clan. It seems to work. And
Yeah.
and honestly, it's just my opinion, but my opinion is that Magnus is really having a lot of success as a rogue compared to his previous class. I think that is what he needs to be.
Yeah.
Like
I
he
agree.
is killing it with those throwing weapons.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
like, without sounding rude, when I would play, I didn't feel like before he was somebody that I had to keep my eye on. Now I do. I cannot turn my back to him. He will kill me.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Specifically when you do turn your back.
Yeah. Which is to be fair though, that's rogue.
Yeah,
Like, that's the
what they're
class.
supposed to do. Right.
It is.
So
I seen one today where Lord Wilhelm was starting to get amped
I know
up,
exactly
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're talking
and he
about.
was coming after somebody, and then all of a sudden, just Jonathan Trapp.
Yeah, he had
right
some good
at him,
shots
and he
today
was like-
too.
Yeah, during Minion, he had a really good one too. I know we didn't get there.
We're
but
getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was mine because it was just amazing.
He
how
was
he
like,
shot him.
ah, and then
Yeah.
he just
He
caught
was
an
like-
arrow.
Yeah.
And he caught the arrow, which was
Yeah.
cool on Wilhelm's part. He like caught it and then like left it, like in his
It was
side.
like a cool
Yep.
role play.
yeah,
death.
Yep.
yeah, as he died. So
That's like
So-
my
Kinda neat.
favorite thing about LARP is like a good role play death. Like
Yeah.
it really can like change somebody's whole mood, especially the person that killed them.
right.
Yeah.
Like, and I think people should understand that. Like, we're out there to have a good time. If somebody gets you, especially if it's somebody you don't think should have got you or whatever, make their day by giving them a good role play
Mhm.
death.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
So-
think it can be just as rewarding as doing a really good roleplay death as having killed someone, just because you make it like an amicable exchange, kind of between
Yeah.
the two of you.
Yeah, totally.
Not only that, but like an enthusiastic exchange. Now they're like, oh, I mean, I must have got in pretty good because he like
Sure.
he totally like
Sure.
did an awesome death for me or whatever.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I was telling Magnus because he used to get a little upset whenever people would kill him in certain areas, and I said, just channel that into your roleplay death, like scream out, go,
I think he's
"Ah!"
trying.
and then fall over dead.
I think he's trying to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's what he said was he'd been trying and it was working a lot better. So
Definitely.
Absolutely cool. We ended with Minion. That was the day.
and we played all the way till Minion. That that team death match lasted a while. That
Yeah.
thing was like an hour and a half or
those
something.
people like really didn't want to fight. They were
Yeah.
really trying to
Yeah.
be standoffish in that
Yeah.
game, but that's okay.
Yeah, and that's another element to that game that I think is kind of cool. Even
the
though
strategy part of the
yeah,
game.
because a lot of games are a waiting game because the quicker you're eliminated, the less likely you are to win because the winner is like the last person standing. Like for instance, last man standing. Yeah, you want to get into a fight, but you're gonna have to if you have to survive 8 engagements with somebody as opposed to just 1 or 2, you're gonna stand back and wait until these other people whittle themselves down so you can deal with the stragglers or whatever,
Sure.
But for that game, it's just like I was telling them at one point. They were all kind of standing around, looking at each other, and I said, hey, this ain't a waiting game. Like you cannot win until
Right.
you take all their lives. You
Yep.
have to kill everybody.
It's funny you say that though, because the
Although it
team
can
that
be a little
stayed out of
bit.
the combat the most ended up winning that game.
Right.
Yep.
I think with that game, it's really important to have 3 teams. One time we did that with 2 teams, and it's not near as fun.
No.
If you have
I
3
think
teams,
that if you added more than a third, it would
think
be
of
even
4 or
more
5
fun.
teams, yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be crazy, right?
And we have technically right now we have the marshals to do it.
Yeah, the main thing would be making sure that the marshals don't get confused about who's on what team. But if even if you have 5 teams, that means you have less people on each team,
True.
less people to keep track of. If it's only like 3 people,
I mean, honestly, at this point, how hard would it be to bring out a couple sticky notes and write down the 3 or 4 or 5
that you
players
have
that
to
are on
keep
your
track
team?
of. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
You
yeah.
know. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
but
we
anyway,
maybe that could be something we could try here coming up now in the next
Yeah,
weekend.
I'm down with it.
A team match like that, the team death match that has
right
however many teams we
now, maybe we do that earlier in the day though, because like I feel like it was a little warmer. People had
Mhm.
left. We didn't have quite the number of players that I would like to have had for like a 5 or 6 team, whatever. But if we do that earlier in the day, absolutely.
get. Plus, I just thought about this. Over at Pavilion 2, we do fight in the shade way more than we do at Pavilion
true.
3. Because at
That's
Pavilion
absolutely
3,
true.
we're like right out in the middle of the open.
Only problem I have with Pavilion 2 is really the disc golf stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's really
You
a pain
can't
in
interrupt it,
Patella,
yeah.
you
Mhm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But if we could like figure out a way to kind of avoid that a little bit more, maybe you play on this side of the like the
Playground
the
equipment.
playground area. Yeah. If
Where
we
we can't
utilize
get
that
in the
area a
way
little bit
of 'em.
more,
Mhm.
maybe it'd be a little bit easier. But I also think that it's nice that it's kind of a change of scenery because there's
It is.
trees over there.
And
Like
not
it's,
to stay at any one spot, no matter what.
Right.
Basically. Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, and then like I said, we ended with Minion, which it took us to like almost 6 o'clock. Right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we stayed. We've been trying to, as it's, as the days got later, we tried to stay a little bit later. But some days people are kind of done a little earlier. But today we played almost all the way up till 6. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Aridin and Pora ended up winning Minion, which, like I said, was the last event of the day, and that was it. That was a recap.
I mean, it was. The other one was when Jonathan Trapp had killed Rand.
I think it was Rand. It was either
think
Rand
it was
or
He got them.
was
like,
another.
dead
It was
center.
Arid. It might have been Aridin again. Like
No,
where was it Rand?
It was Rand. He got him dead center And like everybody was like,
yeah, and
"Oh,
he said, my
not
team is
again!"
free, and then they all just started killing each other.
I think I might have been in that mess.
You were.
Yeah, I think I was
Yeah.
because Lord Reese tried to stab me as soon as it happened, and he's
did.
lucky I saw him coming. I got him, but yeah, that was kind of wild.
That was
Yeah,
was
it was
the
almost
perfect
nobody
shot.
and almost nobody in that. Like, okay, so for a little context, in case you don't know, Minion is a game where everybody you kill works on your team. Basically becomes one of your teammates, and then you win by getting everybody on your team. And when you die, it releases everybody on your team, and they have the potential to either become a minion or a master, depending on where they get a kill in that cluster. And sometimes people just run. Nobody ran in that cluster.
No.
Everybody
We
was
just
trying
turned
to
to
kill
fight.
each
They just
other.
turned and
Yeah, it was
fought.
crazy.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was priceless. And I do.
Hopefully we got some good video of that too, because
I
I
think we
was
did.
running around recording. So
I think we did.
Lord
And-
Reese was very upset that I stabbed him. He came at me though, just to be fair.
Now there was one point where I had gotten killed, and I was just doing whatever, and I walked up to you,
Yeah.
and everybody's like checking paperwork, and I like just walked up to you, and
It seemed
you were
sus.
like,
He
Which
was
means-
walking in a
paperwork.
weird way.
I
I
was just-
didn't feel comfortable
like
with it.
I was just walking up normal, had my weapons down,
Maybe it
just
was
like,
too normal.
and checking
then
paperwork, to be
checking
clear,
paperwork.
is where you stab somebody coming in to make sure that they are actually on your team.
Right,
Yeah.
because
if
if
they
you-
are,
then nothing
it doesn't
happens.
happen.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
nothing happens. But if they're not, they're dead.
And like he just stabs me, and I was like,
Dude, it was a pretty
Ah,
cool
so you
role
played it
play.
up there.
Yeah, and it was pretty nice. And I was like, oh my God, that was almost really bad.
like he goes,
almost
wait,
made
you
it.
aren't on our team? I was like, no.
Like I thought he was good. Like I really did. And I was like, I'm just gonna check anyway, you know?
And
He's
he
like,
fell
check
over
a
dead.
And he
paperwork.
fell over and I was like, oh, that was almost real bad.
Because I was just gonna walk up and just be like, boop, and then walk
To
up.
be
and
fair
kiss-
though,
and
you know, and I know we've talked about her before, that when we played Minion, that's what Kat used to do all the time. And no one
It took
would check
so
her
long
paperwork.
for
Yeah.
people to start like being aware of where she was at and what she was doing, because she would do that. She'd walk right up in the middle of everybody and just stab you.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Like, dang.
like that's kind of what I was doing. I was just gonna be
I mean,
like,
you almost
I'm
had
good.
it.
I'm
Had
good.
I not checked his paperwork, I think he would have had it.
Yeah, because Lord Airden was like right there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just gonna walk up to Brandon nonchalantly and just kind of poke him, and then
And go up behind him, stab him
go
back.
behind him, and be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's free.
Yeah. That would have been pretty funny, actually.
so. But yeah, that was our recap of the weekend.
Should we drop a code word in here?
Yeah, that seems like a good time
Yeah.
to do that. And then we'll get to the suggestion box after the code
Oh
word.
yeah, I forgot. I got.
Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty long episode.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
Yeah. That's what I've
I don't know. What do you have for a code word?
how about backstab?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Backstab?
Yeah,
It's easy to
backstab.
work into
Go
a
ahead and
conversation.
use it in a sentence. Make sure that we understand what you're saying to us.
Yeah, like if you're talking to me especially,
Yeah.
and I'm like trying to literally answer your question, try again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
try again. I'm not getting it.
What's funny though, you say that, but I literally answer questions. Like if somebody asks me a question like with the code word in it, I'll answer them like almost to the point to where they don't know if I
Whether
understand. But usually I'll end it like if they're looking at me confused, I'm like, I got you. Like I
It's fine.
understand. Like just let's
Okay,
move
so
on.
if
on.
you're- but so if it's you, then they're probably okay. But if they're me, you might have to like just maybe say it once in isolation. You know, like
Right.
backstabbing. But backstabbing, and like look at me. And then I'll be
Wink,
like,
wink.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to do your stuff first
and
before the go ahead.
One more. Can
Yeah.
we get? I didn't count today. We usually like to count the number of participants, which includes people that may not actually play. There are a few
Right.
people that show up and with some of our players that would add to the number of participants because they're there for Phlarp, but they may not be fighting basically. And I'd say we had close to 40 today. I would think anyway.
Okay.
At least we didn't have less than 30. I don't think.
No,
So-
no,
No.
I would have guessed about 30, but it could have been closer to 40.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
do like an actual head count, but
Yeah.
so.
And we had a couple of spectators.
Well, we had a bunch of spectators today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a few different sets of spectators over there by the that stone picnic table that was over there to the side that
Mm-hmm.
actually changed out. Like there was different people over there sitting over there watching at one point. And I handed
Cool.
cards to a few different people over there. So
Awesome.
Love that.
Yeah.
yeah, probably 5 or 6 people actually today that I was just giving cards to and talking to about it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So anyway, back to my question. Would you like to do your stuff first, or would you like to do the suggestion box stuff first?
Let's do the suggestion box first.
Okay. I don't know how many there were today. Was there a lot of suggestions?
Because this is going to be kind of intricate.
No, there's not a whole lot.
Cool.
Awesome.
That'll actually work out to our favor, I think. For the. Do you need me to help sort through these
Sure.
before we just What's
That
this? The
Yeah, that's
receipt
the
to the
Pizza
pizza
Hut.
you picked up? It's not
Right.
pizza. It's Domino's. You need to stop doing that.
Domino's.
There's a big difference.
Why do you always give me the ones that I can't read?
Yeah, we can't read that one. That's something.
Okay.
Okay, that one's fine.
So while they're doing this,
Yeah, go ahead and fix the dead air right here.
let's fix this dead air. So, let's give a shout out to Mercer. Again, Mercer brought, hot dogs and buns and chips. Let's see what else. We had fruit.
We had 2 different cakes.
Yep.
Strawberries, broccoli, cauliflower. There was like
Yeah.
a whole spread.
It
This is-
was.
Those are good. No,
Those
no,
are
no.
all good. Okay.
And I mean, every week Mercer is just taking care of us. So I definitely want to shout out Mercer. So thank you, Mercer, for being there each week for us and making sure that we are taken care of, making sure that we have something to eat. That's a big thing. Especially since it's getting warmer, everybody's moving, they're burning a lot of calories, so at least we have something there to eat. Second thing is I definitely want to, thank all of our players for, kind of understanding. I've noticed this, a lot of our players are noticing their limits. And when they kind of get to that limit, some of them back off, some of them it's like, hey, we try to prompt them, hey, just why don't you take a breather for a second?
Sure.
So they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're receptive to our prompting. So I'm thankful for that. But most of all, I want to thank North for making this game the way it is and giving us something to do to come together on a Sunday as family. I've always thought, Sundays was always like family time.
With like a PH.
Yes. It was PH.
The Park Hills family.
Yep. So to me, you're bringing back childhood memories for me that I always enjoyed. So I want to say thank you to that because this is family. We have numerous, suggestions up there that talks about, this is my family, and it's right over the computer. LARP is my family. I'm glad I got to see everyone today.
Yep.
And I think that's the most important one. And I'm glad it's right there because it's right there next to us that we can read it. And each week we come out, everybody may not be able to be there, but, we're always diving in. If there's anything going on, like when you were gone, it was like everybody stepped up. Everybody was like, okay, what do we got to do to facilitate this? And we did. As marshals, we are looking out for our players. We're always like, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. Whatever you need, I'm here. And each player does that. And it's like you helped create that. So I definitely want to say thank you.
Yeah, you're
Cool.
welcome.
Thank you. I
And-
agree. I double down on that.
Cool. And I'll say, I appreciate it. And thank you guys, you and everybody else, everybody that is at Phlarp has a part to play, kind of. Like, some people might just be players, and that's cool.
You need them too.
Yeah, and for the people that are like, I'm trying to surround myself with people that will be like a team that will help, and I'll be like kind of on the same page about getting Phlarp as big as it can get, essentially. And I feel like you guys have all stepped up to do that. You, the 2 hosts here, and then everybody else, anybody who's in the in any kind of higher position, and like you said, anybody that's even just a player, I appreciate it. Because even the people that come up there and all they do is play, even if that's all they contribute, they don't have any money or whatever, that's fine. Like, I appreciate them just as much as I do everybody else. So I really appreciate everybody,
I agree.
making it possible. So
Yeah.
yes, I know that I'm part of it, but really it would just be me if I wasn't doing that, trying to surround myself with people that are trying to make a really good team that's productive.
Like
Sure.
a positive impact.
and,
Yeah.
and is cares about the same thing about improving Phlarp and making it as big as it can be and as cool of a place for everybody, basically. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And
And-
then I wanted to do a shout out to Xander because he's doing a really good job and he's not even really old enough to play yet. So he's doing like an awesome job as like a marshal. It's cool that he stepped up as a marshal whenever he can't even really play right now. So
Right.
he was doing stuff today and helping me out, and he has been trying to learn stuff and stuff. So
I
and
mean-
all my marshals. So
the reality of the situation is that the number of people that need shout outs, like we don't have the time to
Yeah,
shout out
basically,
everybody
right,
because
but-
like everybody plays a role. Like,
Yeah.
and so it is what it is.
I mean, that would
but,
be
but
like-
know you're appreciated.
That
Yeah.
would be like 3 episodes long.
True.
no one of us is Phlarp, but together we are Phlarp. So
Yeah.
I agree. Well, let's get pushing on these. 'Cause
Suggestions.
we're gonna have a long podcast today. So
this one says, I thought class people could only use their class restricted weapons in games that aren't scramble. I agree they should have been. At one point, somebody said something to me about somebody's weapons, and I checked them. I didn't actually go over there and measure them, but they did tell me that they acknowledged that the weapons were the right sizes, so I'm assuming that's what's happening. There are some times where brand new people that are squires, end up like getting what is referred to as the ability dual wield, which just basically means they're wielding 2 longer weapons, and sometimes they're not really supposed to be doing that. Although I'm not real serious about it with people starting out because it just makes it more complicated for them essentially, and I'm trying to make it like user friendly. And also they're newer people, whatever little advantage they're going to get, it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
They're not going to have any abilities or anything. However, that being said, if you are classed, you should be adhering to the weapon restrictions. I know a couple people like had to change the weapons they were using and stuff when they realized that's the case. So if there are people aren't doing that, be aware. If you have chosen a class, if you are above first level even, you should have chosen a class. You should have passed the squire thing. If not, you shouldn't actually be able to use your abilities. Like, 'cause you're
Right.
only supposed to be able to pick abilities if you pass squire test. So, which is the recruitment papers that you get when you first start. So,
right on.
All right.
Agreed.
so I agree with whoever put that one in there.
'Kay.
And if somebody's not doing it, then we need to like try to. It's up to the marshals to be checking these people's weapon limits, especially people who have clearly chosen a class and who are like not new.
Right.
Fair enough.
All right. I have why is Last Man Standing a warm-up game?
Okay, so last man standing is a warm-up game usually because it's just out of tradition, essentially.
Yeah. More
Uh,
than anything, I agree.
Yeah, it's not even really. I don't even think it necessarily shows like who's the best or whatever. It's because it is such a weird, like we were talking earlier with it being like a waiting game and stuff. It's just kind of tradition, essentially.
Right. Also, it's the game that I use every week to mark everyone's costume.
True.
And it's just the way we do things.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is a big enough pull that they don't want that to be the first game by
Sure.
all of the players or
Right.
whatever, please let us know. But I like it as an opening game because it's a 1-life game, and it usually goes fairly quick. And to piggyback off of that, this one that I have does say Scramble should be our warm-up game.
Cool.
So,
I mean, I wouldn't
we
necessarily
hear
be
you.
opposed to that.
I just think that there needs to be like enough people saying this in order for it to make a difference. So if you're listening to this podcast and you agree, please let us know.
Yeah.
And another thing too that I think the only potential conflict I could see with that is if we have new people. I like to use Scramble as a warm-up game for
True.
new people, and I
Mhm.
don't
Because it is a
so-
very simple game.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it allows them to get on teams with different people without being rejected by people or something because they're new. Like, if you just show up there, if you're at the rest point and the new person's there, you're on their team. It's not like you got to be like, oh my gosh, they're new, so they're not going to do, they're not going to help me win. And also, there's no winner, so
Yeah.
you can't be upset about that either. And so with the way it works out chronologically, if we take and we do patrol first because there are new people, we could do that and then do Scramble, but by the time we set up patrol and stuff, I feel like that would take a really long time. So like, I feel like playing Last Man Standing, if we have new people, is a good thing to let people, because what I do is I'll just tell the new person, hey, you're not playing in this first game we're playing, but you will be playing in the second. And then they go play Last Man Standing. And then by the time that's done, we've kind of set them up and getting ready for patrol to be able to go do patrol.
Yep.
Where it makes it to where there's not a whole bunch of downtime between 1 o'clock and the first game we play. Because if the first game has to be patrol, because we can't do Scramble before we do patrol, if we got a new person,
Right.
Yeah.
you see the
Well, I understand what you're saying.
conflict.
I agree. And I'd
So
like
it's
to
kind of what
piggyback
people
off that.
think. So
Is like with Daveen and I, we try to get all the other players out there on Last Man to warm them up, get them riled up, start the day. You know, like I was trying to get some good energy today, so that we can start that battle, and then come back and be like, okay, you know, while they're doing that, we can have our new players watching the video
Yeah, and getting them ready.
on everything
right.
like that, and then we can try and get everything else set up and be like, okay, you know, we have everything we need right here. So when they're done with Last Man, you know, take a 5-minute break, and then
Even as they're dying in Last
Yeah.
Man, you can start pulling them out
yeah,
to
just
go.
pull them out and be like, hey,
yeah,
I
get
need you
set
to
up
take
for
this
patrol.
here. I need you to get, you know, this set up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
it kind of
it's-
helps us and flows better.
And even if we just didn't play Last Man Standing and played another game, I think that would be fine. But I think it's a bad idea to let new people enter Last Man Standing. And
Yeah.
the reason why is because, like, if you get out there as that's your first game, some people are going to go for you just to eliminate you because you're like an easy target because you're brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're out there for literally like 2 minutes and then you're dead. And you got to go
Yeah.
sit in the pavilion and watch everybody else fight for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me is that it's a one life game, and I don't think that should be the first game
No.
for a brand new player.
No.
Period. So, all
Right.
All right.
right, well, what do you got?
But we are, that being said,
We are
I
open to
and
others.
we are open to,
Well,
yeah,
and I said
trying
that.
something else different.
Of course.
Yes.
Like if there's enough pull for this, like we'll see what we can do. But
Yeah.
let us know.
Is it back to me?
Yes.
it
It
is.
says, "Great day. I lost many great fights today. Quick reminder, shield bashing is not a thing in this kingdom. It was a funny play, and I want to thank the character who did the shield bashing. I'm not going to say the name because I don't think this person meant it as anything negative. He was actually trying to make it like okay for the other person. I just don't want to say the name. So
Right. Well, that's fair.
it was a funny play, and I want to thank whoever did the shield bash for being a good sport about it." And then it says, "Make hole tighter, maybe add some foam."
Funny. That's funny. Can I see that? That's
there you
funny.
go.
Okay. This one, it says, I thought it was 3 teams against each other, not 2v1.
Well, here's
I
the
read
deal.
that one, but I didn't quite understand.
No,
what
I
is
understand what
the-
they're
I
saying,
know
but
what
here's
they're
the deal.
talking about.
No, I do too. So, just to quickly go out on this, it doesn't matter. Like, that's not how the game works.
Yeah.
The game is very strategic in that, technically speaking, if 2 teams decided they wanted to just pummel one team,
Sure.
you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I'm sorry if you felt like your team was picked on during that particular
Oh, okay.
game.
Like the other team was alliancing
Yeah.
sort of
Right.
against
I
that
think
team.
I think they were aggravated during the team deathmatch that they felt like that the 2 teams had come to them too much.
and was avoiding the other
Right.
team.
Right.
Hmm.
But the reality is that's how that game works. And,
And unless we go in there and literally micromanage every
Yeah,
single move
right.
everybody makes, yeah.
That's not
And-
our job.
and so, like, I don't want you to not play games, but if you don't like that game, don't play it.
Yeah.
And that's basically the best explanation I have for you, because at the end of the day, we can't make people do any specific things in a game.
And
like
I
that.
wouldn't discourage, like, yeah, obviously, there are some situations where I would discourage this type of behavior, but in that type of game, people role playing to try to make an alliance with each other, even openly. I don't know that I would discourage that. I'd be
No.
like, well,
I think
mean,
that's part of the game.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like up to that other team to try to convince that team to not do that. And that doesn't mean that other team, you know, whatever teams are aligning, if they get close enough to each other, won't kill each other or whatever, you know, or betray each other or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. I
It's all
mean,
part of the game.
it's a role play and a strategic advantage. That's all it is.
Mhm. And like you were saying earlier about the number of teams too, adding 5 teams on it
Yeah. If we had
is
the
going to
numbers,
make that
yeah.
way easier
I
to
agree.
to manage basically. Because then
Okay.
it'd be a lot harder for them to create an alliance with like a bunch of different teams and stuff. It'd be kind of crazy. So
Yep.
Do I have the last one here?
yeah,
I
think
believe
so.
you do.
This is like basically a 3-part question. So the first, it says great weekend. I
Cool.
agree. It was awesome. And then we can kind of go through this together. But the first question is, how many characters have you played? Have you always played North? Well, no, that's
no.
not true.
Nope.
Because you played West.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that it?
The old man at the property I played, the old guard is what he was called.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm not going to count like.
But he wasn't like a real.
Yeah.
I didn't get into that character very well.
Okay. Fair
West,
enough.
definitely, I played West. Like, I role played as West. It was crazy. And then North is the only other character I played. so.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
In Phlarp, Eric the Red is the only character I played.
Okay, well, then I'm the odd duck here. I have played 4 different characters over my tenure. But, I mean, I did start back in 2012.
Yeah.
I give mad props to North for only having really played 2 characters.
Yeah.
But I played Theron.
Which was Oblivion. Is that
It was
the
Knights
first
of
one?
Oblivion.
Yeah, okay.
And
That was
then
the
I-
first one.
Yeah, and probably my lamest character, even though I
Hang
did
on.
like him.
Let me try to remember this. I really
Okay.
want to try to do this.
All right.
Okay. And then it was it Tyrus?
Yep,
Something Strider?
yep. Long Strider.
Long Strider? Okay. That was the one.
or was
we
it just Strider? No, it was just Tyrus Strider.
Okay, but you had wolves, right?
Yep.
That was
Yeah,
the-
I played a Beastmaster and kind of killed at it, honestly.
Yeah, and you got really high level, and you were always calling me in as one of the wolves or whatever.
Yeah, I had all kinds of. I had like these little like wolf things that you could put on and stuff.
You had like the wolf sword from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I had-
Jon
yep.
Snow's.
Awesome.
Yeah, Long Claw.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it. And then
Then my strongest character by far was the third one. There's a leader of the Vanguard, and then
why am I missing this third
also
one? This
the
third one?
leader of
Because Daveen's the fourth one, so
right.
and it's
It's like the simplest name too.
Which one was the wizard? Didn't you play a wizard?
I've never
No,
played a
You've
wizard.
never
No.
played a wizard?
Mm-mm. I played.
I don't know, tell me.
paladin?
It's taking too long.
I
Okay.
played a Beastmaster Ranger.
Okay.
Then I played a warrior, a champion warrior, and then I played Daveen, which doesn't have a class.
So what
yet.
is the third one? Because I can't.
Caden
remember.
Atwood.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Caden.
Yes. Dang it.
That's all right. That's okay. But yeah, that's my 4 characters.
And Caden
Cool.
was the one that always ordered the egg sandwiches?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, Tyrus might have done that too. I don't know if it went
Yeah, it
that
was
far back,
somewhere
but
in there that
Okay.
you switched.
and then the next question is: were you always a clan leader?
I was not the leader of the first clan that I was in. It was Aaron, I think, was the leader of that one.
Right,
Night Watch. It wasn't
Lord
me. I was.
Ubasmack. I remember.
Yeah. And then.
You did become a clan lord, though. I
yeah,
remember that.
when I went evil or whatever, and
That was pretty cool, though. We should save that story, though. I don't
Oh,
think we
okay.
have time today.
yeah, and I won't tell the whole thing, but basically I started my own clan
Yeah.
and then it was called the Fallen.
Mm-hmm. And it was a cool clan.
Yeah.
It was a cool concept.
I had like a
wanna
whole
hear the-
handbook and everything. It was pretty cool.
I want to hear this.
Oh.
So you know what? If we ever make another episode for like Patreon, I would like to hear that and put it on Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a cool story. Like I said, it was a really cool concept, and it's something that I don't see a lot. So
Right.
Yeah, I don't,
it was a unique concept.
Okay.
So what about you? Have you ever been a
the
clan lord?
level
No.
of depth that I put into it, I think, was pretty high as far as like what like the dynamics of my clan was. I had a whole like thing that I did with my clan, like gimmicks and stuff.
Now I'll go back to the previous question. So the previous question, what characters? So when I was with New Haven or Old Haven or whatever it was, it started out as Oldshire and then
Mm-hmm.
we moved. I played Aragorn, but we decided that because that is a trademarked name,
Mm-hmm.
that I had to switch it.
Mm.
And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to use Eric the Red. I
Mm.
was in Black Rose. I was not the clan leader, but I was the number 2.
Okay. Cool.
But I've never been a clan leader. And
Mm.
I'm essentially the number 3 in your clan. But I'm more of the ambassador.
We're not talking about that.
I'm
That's
more
crazy.
of the ambassador.
We're all equal. That's cool. We're all equal.
We're all equal?
We're all equal.
Hell yeah, bro.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not saying you're gonna become a player one day, so
That's true. And then
so
you
in some
will
ways,
be number 2.
in some ways, yeah, you're above
I might be
him
in,
in that.
I might slide into that number 2 spot.
You might. If
Like Maverick
if
Andrews.
we
when
weren't
you-
all equal.
when you
but we
slide
are.
into the number 1 player slot.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Wilhelm, he's got a gap on me on that
He
XP,
does.
man.
How
I'm
he
much?
does.
How much higher is he than you?
like almost 1,000.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah,
That's
and
gonna
like
be hard to
Heston
catch
is
up
trying
on.
to catch me too. He's only like a couple hundred away from me too. He keeps winning these dang last man standings.
Right,
I won't have
yeah.
it. I mean, hey, maybe I do have a reason. I'm telling
You know
everybody
what?
to kill Heston. You know.
I'm just saying, one of these days, the marshals are going to intervene with this and take him out.
Hey,
It might happen.
it is what it is, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I've decided that I'll say because I still really don't know. If I decide I'm going to play again, I am just going to start targeting the people that are trying to wait. I don't even care if I win. I'm just going to start running at the people hiding on the edges.
Just
I
run
will
at 'em.
too. And if I die to the first one, I die to the first one. It is what
Yep.
it is. But I hate that.
Yep.
When they just stand around.
Usually when I play a game like that, even if it's scramble, I'll pick a direction,
And
left
just start
or right,
walking,
and I
yeah.
just start walking. And what's funny is, and I don't even think it's because I'm good, they just start running away.
They're like, oh, you're gonna walk at me? Well, I'm gonna run.
Yeah, they know I'm not going to chase them.
Yep.
So like,
All
Anyway,
right.
but anyway.
Let's keep going.
as far as the were you always a clan leader? Daveen is not. He has never been a clan leader. All of my other characters were. However, my first character, Theron, did not start as the clan leader. Currently, Gregor played a wizard back then known as Epsilon Fulminata, which I've talked about before. Is like, if I could bring back one character ever, it would be Epsilon.
That's seems like it's satisfying to say.
Yeah.
It kind of is. You want to say it?
Epsilon Fulminata.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Epsilon Fulminata.
At least that's how I remember it being pronounced.
Some interesting.
So he was the clan lord for like a while, and we just weren't having the success that I felt like we should have. And so I sat down with Epsilon at one point and just basically said, look, I want to be in this clan, but I don't like the way you're doing it. And if I'm going to continue to be in this clan, I'm going to be the clan lord. And reluctantly, he did agree, thankfully. And then we went on to have some very large success. And I would not have had that success had he not stayed in the clan. He was very, very important to our clan.
Right
So-
on.
Cool.
But anyway, that's that question. And then the last question is, what's the benefit of being one? A clan lord.
I'm out.
I mean, that's fair. That's
I'm out.
fair. I mean, I could probably take
I mean, I
some
think
of
it
this,
has
but
pros and cons,
I agree.
basically.
I agree. I think people that have a hard time relinquishing control do well as clan lords. Because as a clan lord, I can say, and not, now, you don't have to have that. This is just like this is probably a me thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't like the idea that a clan lord has presented to me as somebody that's not the clan lord, at least the way I see it, this isn't a democracy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Right.
the clan lord. I've
Right.
told you to do something. You do it or you get out of my clan. Like,
Mhm.
that's how I feel about it. I feel like clan lords as a whole, they want to be in charge because they can see a bigger picture that other people can't see. So if you think that you make really good calls, whether it be tactical calls or, you know, whatever it is, you can run a clan well, you can like rally people up, whatever your skill is that makes you think I'm going to be a clan lord, then you should be a clan lord. You should be fighting for that. You should be trying to find 2 or 3 or 4 other people that believe in you
Right.
and that you guys are going to
They will
make a good
support
team
you.
Yep.
and that just go with it. So
Yeah.
I guess my answer is to what's the benefit of being one? You get to make the calls. But the downfall, and I know this wasn't asked,
Is
but
that
the
you're the one
downfall
making
is
the calls?
you're the one making the calls.
Yeah.
You're the one that's responsible to make sure everybody's in costume. You're the one that has to like call somebody out if they're not showing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so like
Mhm.
sometimes you kind of have to be almost like a dictator and you just kind of seem like a jerk,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I've been there before. And guess what? You're also the one when somebody's not showing up that has to kick that person out of the
Right.
clan. That sucks.
Yeah.
I've been there and I've done it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And what's even worse, I've had it to where I've kicked somebody out of the clan and I'm getting personal messages on Facebook from their mom. That's
Dang.
happened to me before. And we could talk about that off podcast, but that legitimately happened. Like that, and you have to tell mom, sorry, your kid's not showing up and I need him
Right.
to be there.
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing that he needs to be doing.
Yeah, I want
outside
him
of
to show
everyone
up.
else.
I want him to be in costume and I want him to role play. Half the time, I don't even care what their skill is. If you're doing those 3 things, I don't care if you suck.
Yeah, even if you don't really win, as long as you're doing what I say when I say to do it, and you believe
Literally.
in my ability to like lead us to wins somewhere. Then,
That's
hey,
it.
you know, yeah.
And I will tell you right now that I have seen people out there at LARP that I believe in my heart are just as good of clan lords as I am. They just need to do like a couple little things different and they are golden.
Yep.
So anyway, that's my answer to that question.
All right. So, as an RP aspect, I got my face ID going on. There was a message that was sent to me, and I will read it. I can't get my keyboard out of the way.
Please do.
All right. The death of one of your beloved heroes will spark a change that will shake this town to its very core. This change will show you just how we can be pathetic. You are. Prepare yourselves for battle soon. The field will be stained with crimson, and the so-called clans will be left powerless. They're sad and pathetic. I think this was done with a chisel and stone.
It may have been.
So it's kind of... they're sad and pathetic. One of these clans are ran by a crazy lunatic pirate who's obsessed with keys and is such a coward and afraid to kill somebody that he will cut your leg and run away with his tail tucked between his legs.
Wow.
Barely a clan, if you want to call it. That his other members don't even show up. And if they do, they're not in their colors. His clan is so sad and pathetic that his other so-called heroes don't even acknowledge him as a leader and forget about his clan. Another so-called clan, she can't even discipline her own men and has to rely on others to do it for her. If you didn't have the power to lead, then you shouldn't take up arms. Another so-called clan of the false king only has a few members, yet he commands them well. But it's all because they're all rejects from others, so they're grasping onto this ideology that he will hold them together and show them true strength. I will acknowledge their strengths, but I will also show their weaknesses. They're terrible as they work together. Their synergy is off, and it shows that they are rejects from other clans because they don't know how to work together with each other. Or others, and worst of all, the clan that is ran by not one, but two, because they cannot decide on who is the leader because neither one of them are fit to be leader. You have this passive priest who stepped down and let the other lead because if you can't harm somebody, then you will not be a leader. And then the other is a so-called defender who can't even defend the people that she claims to protect and call her fellow clansmen. And last but not least, the clan known as Black Rose, you have a champion who is obsessed with stabbing people, but is easily overran defender who's barely good enough to defend himself as he stumbles over his own feet in a wizard that he is more of a warrior than a wizard and is a loose cannon and runs away, and a court jester that for some reason uses a shield and sword and fights people. Not that I think about it, he might not be a jester, but he acts like it. And last, their leader who is stuck on an ideology that he has to have the favor of every single lord that are beneath him when his strength and skills exceed their own, but yet he is looked upon as a leader and guiding hand even though he is not a king.
That is savage.
So
was
Dude,
this
get
sent,
roasted, bro.
Was this sent anonymously?
it was.
So who do you
So
think
that's-
is the person they're going to take out? I mean, it could be any one of those lords. That's
Right.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah, that's everybody. I
this
think. right?
missive was sent anonymously to me. I don't know
Wow.
why it
To
was
the
sent
ambassador.
to the ambassador.
Yeah.
So
I'm honestly just glad I wasn't mentioned in that.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That
I'm-
person is out for blood.
I am glad that
Them's fighting
they are not
words.
coming after the magistrate. I'm
Not that we
thankful.
know of.
Yeah, so far.
Okay, hey, keep your
Whoever
eyes in
it
the
is,
back
yeah.
of your head.
Whoever it is, they appear to have an intricate understanding of
All of the
me-
people.
Yeah,
Yes.
like of everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't have written that better myself.
I like when I received this missive, I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah, that's what
We
my
need to
first thought
track
would have
this, and we need to get this out to all of the people because apparently there's going to be some form of shakeup
been. Yeah,
in,
I can
in
only
our-
imagine.
in
A
our
threat
town.
looms.
So
Keep an eyes peeled, guy.
The-
Keep your eyes peeled. That's
I
crazy.
see the gray clouds rolling in on the horizon, Now I will never taunt the god
Sure.
again.
Right. That was
That
bad.
was bad.
I agree.
That was bad. Apparently, I was like high crawling.
So this is
and-
your fault.
No,
Yeah,
no. This
Let's
is,
move on from fault. We'll never get off of that.
okay. Okay.
Whatever we need to do it because we're already way
Yeah,
past
we
our
are
normal
over.
So
time.
we're way past. But I mean, apparently there's a shakeup,
Yeah.
and it's coming.
Interesting.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting like
You're good.
crazy here. Yeah, that I was told. Okay, so this is a administrative note.
Okay.
Do not forget about the trash bash,
True that.
and the trash bash will happen like the first Monday in June.
Yeah. Do I need to get out a calendar here so we can get you an exact date?
Yeah, we can get an exact date.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Also, next week is the costume contest,
It's going to be the 5th.
the 5th.
Yeah.
the trash
June
bash.
the 5th will be the
The
trash
trash
Which is
bash.
the Monday after
Okay.
Country Days. I
Right.
think.
Right.
That's-
Okay.
Not to confuse everybody. So
Yeah,
so first thing coming up is costume contest.
that's next week.
Next week, right?
Do I need a date for that too? We can just. I'll keep this
Sure,
open.
sure.
You know. But that,
So
if
next-
today's the 21st. It'll be the 28th.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the 28th of we're in May. May
Yes,
28th.
May 28th.
That'll be the costume contest on Sunday. We'll try to do that before we do last man standing. If we have to wait on people, we may do last man standing, but we try to do it beforehand. That way people don't get their costumes jacked up.
Right.
Then coming up right after that, on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of June, we have Country Days.
The most important day being the 2nd,
Yes.
which is the parade.
Right, which has an unlimited number of participants that can participate with Phlarp. So if you're a Phlarper, if you come up, I'm giving 50 XP to anybody who participates in the parade and 100 XP if you're in full costume.
Bet. I will be there in full costume with my elf ears on.
Oh.
And then the 3rd and 4th will be there with a booth. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Now there was a marking on the form for the setup, so we can start setting up that Friday from 3 to 8 p.m.
Okay. I don't.
Okay.
Can't imagine we
So,
would need that amount of time.
Yeah, I mean,
But fair enough.
Okay.
but they will send me they'll either call me or send me an email.
If they call you an email, I'd be impressed.
If they called me an email, all right. But they will send me some form of information any way possible on where our setup will be at, and also like they'll give me information on where to meet at for the parade.
Cool.
Usually, if we line up, like it's kind of one of those first come first serve
Sure.
kind of.
Makes
That's
sense
where
to
you
me.
get your slots.
Yeah.
So, but I'm hoping that we can get in with Harriet 51. So, and with that, if you don't wear that thing that I bought you, I will slay you in the middle of the parade.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you were supposed to wear it this week and you didn't do it.
No, I didn't because I got to figure out how I'm gonna wear it with, and yeah, okay.
I mean, we
It's
can cut,
fine.
we can cut the head out.
We got
That's
that.
fine. And then, so we got 2nd, 3rd, and 4th
Right.
for Country Days.
And then 5th is the trash.
The trash bash.
The trash bash.
Which is the Monday after.
Yeah, it's where we go along the highway and pick up on the adopted piece of highway on Highway 32 coming out of Leadington.
Leadington.
Yeah, there's a section right in the near the beginning of Leadington that we've adopted, and we go along the side of it and pick up trash. So
Yep.
that would be the 5th.
And then June 24th, right?
And then, okay, so June 24th is the 19th annual Firecracker Run. Okay, so it's sponsored by Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy and Jerry's Fireworks, and it's hosted by the Park Hills Leadington Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so it's Saturday, June 24th. It's a 1 mile walker run and a 5K walker run. So I'm just going to say that we're just going to have walkers.
I'm not running.
I don't plan on running.
Especially in costume.
So
Even at the finish line this time, I'm not gonna do that again.
Bet.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna let
if
everybody
I
else go
give you a
past
look,
me.
if I give you
No,
a look,
I'm not doing it again. I
Well,
realize how
we'll see.
embarrassing that was.
Okay, so walkers 1 mile and 5K awards all walkers to receive participation ribbons. Walkers won't be timed. Okay, the walk start time. Both walks begin at 7:35 a.m. immediately following the start of the 1 mile run.
So they send the runners, and then they're like, okay, now walkers,
Now
you can
walkers,
go.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
They had a separate path for them at that other one that we went to.
Let's see. The courses begin and end in the municipal parking lot outside of the Park Hills Council Chambers, Park Hills Leadington Chamber Office.
Which is near that crazy 5-way, right? In Park Hills,
yeah,
downtown Park
it's-
Hills, Main Street.
Yeah, it's right across from the Park Hills Fire Department.
Right, up there by Ray Coles and
Mhm.
all that up there.
Yeah. The course map is coming soon. Okay, so here's the pricing details. If you register by June 9th, individuals are $30. There's a family discount, which is families of 3 or more will receive a 20% discount.
Would we qualify for that? Does it have to be like
Probably not. Let's
Okay.
just assume no.
I'm going to say no.
So it's $30. Is that what you said?
$30 a person.
Okay.
Okay. Now, registration, if after June 9th, are $35 per runner or walker. No group discounts available.
Okay.
Everybody registers as an individual.
Okay.
So it would behoove everybody to get your registration done before
June 9th.
June 9th.
Right.
T-shirts only. The first 100 registrants receive a
Oh,
free
we're gonna get
T-shirt.
a T-shirt. Okay.
Okay.
Which, honestly, there might already be 100 registered people. Who knows?
Probably, yeah.
Right. True.
Okay, so there is a $500 fireworks package giveaway.
Mm.
One lucky participant will receive a fireworks package valued at $500, courtesy of Jerry's Fireworks.
Nice.
Must be present to win. Winners under the age of 18 must have a qualified adult present to collect the prize.
It's fair.
And the benefit, a portion of your registration fee goes to the Park Hills Leadington Chamber of Commerce Scholarship Fund, providing 4 graduating Central High School students who will be attending one of our local colleges, Mineral Area College or Central Methodist University, with a $500 scholarship to assist with tuition, books, and or other college necessities.
Okay. And also, just in case anyone doesn't know, CMU does have a location inside of Mineral
Yes.
Area College. So,
Yes.
anyway, well,
So
that's good news.
I mean,
So before June 9th, $30. After June 9th, $35.
Yep.
That's what you need to know.
Yep. No, that's what we got coming up. And then one other thing that I wanted to say something about is one of our players, one of our ladies, I suppose, would be the official title, is Vix. She is throwing a tournament.
Yeah,
we've
that
got
is
a few
true.
participants signed up for it. I think she's got different categories.
Including myself. I'm
Yeah, I
definitely
signed up
kind of-
for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're going to get taken
The
out,
heck?
my dude.
We'll see. We'll see.
I
We'll see
want
who
the-
gets play of the day.
Well, it depends on who's saying the play of the day. 'Cause
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
lose and still have the play of the day.
Like, yeah, I roleplay death so good. Okay.
I don't think she has a set date for that yet.
Right.
But we
Right.
are trying to get as many people to sign up as possible.
And they're also her and some other people that are participating and that have like kind of stepped up a little bit are showing up at the park a little bit early at 12 to do
Right.
a little bit of training.
Right.
So if
So if
there's
you're
anybody that wants to
interested
get
in
in
that,
on
yep.
that, yeah, I mean they'll be there. So I just wanted to make sure that I shouted that out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, nobody wants to show up at 12 if no one's showing up. So
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
So
I think it's cool that we have people that are stepping up.
today there were like 7 or 8 people there before
Yeah.
I even got there. So
Yeah.
I mean that's awesome.
yeah, I mean, I showed up early, even like 50 minutes early or something. So
Yeah. I think it's cool that we have players that are stepping up saying, hey, you know what? I want more competition.
yeah, that's
You
exactly
know,
what's going on.
I
here.
want to help you guys. And that right there shows that it's like we are family because we're going to have your back. We're going to help. And, you know, so not only are they trying to help benefit and grow Phlarp, but they're trying to help their fellow people.
True.
And then with the Firecracker 5K, I'm so stoked because that's our way of giving back,
Mhm.
Yeah.
giving back to the community. Oh, I want to say something real quick. You had talked earlier about well, not on this podcast, but
Mhm.
at some point,
Mhm.
and I know I'm trying to make it quick. If we can have people with like small bags to pick up trash.
Oh,
along
yeah,
the way.
thanks for
We'll have some
remembering that.
trash bags for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because that was something that really bugged me really bad about the 5K we did. It was cool. We were there, you know, it was fun and
Mhm.
everything. But then I'm walking by like all this crazy trash, and I'm like just having to walk by it because I can't really pick it up. And some
Yeah.
of it was close enough to a trash can, but there's a whole lot of it I felt like dumb because I'd pick some of it up, put it in the trash can, then have to walk right by some right after that.
Yeah.
So I was saying that anytime I go to these 5Ks, I'm just going to bring a trash bag
Yeah.
and fill it up while I'm walking because it'll make me feel better. And, you know, I mean, that looks, it makes
looks
me feel
good on
good to
Phlarp.
do that, but it
Yeah.
also, looks good on Phlarp. And, you
And
know.
to be fair, and I know that most people in Park Hills don't realize this, but every single week that we're out there, we're cleaning up trash at the park.
Yeah.
This is just kind of an extension of that. This is not something that we're doing for any reason other
No.
than we do this every week already.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
and we
in
like
the park,
to make it look good around our local
yeah,
area.
we
Yeah.
like our
Anywhere
community,
we can.
and we
really.
want them to be happy with us in the
Mhm.
same manner that we want to be happy with Park Hills.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, you know, as far
I
as I'm
agree.
concerned, I'm proud of the city that we sit here and play in, and
Mhm.
this is just kind of me saying, hey, I'm trying to keep our place nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Um,
I agree.
I also want to shout out all of our first responders.
Okay.
Like, no matter what, we may not see all of them, and I'm trying to make it quick. We may not see all of them, but no matter what, if we were to call 911, I know that dispatch will have a fire, EMT, police. No matter what, they'll be there. So
Mhm.
I want to shout
Yeah,
out
it's
our first
not an
responders.
easy job for sure. So
Yeah. My daughter that showed up to spectate today, she is an EMT paramedic, and her husband is a Park Hills firefighter volunteer, but he works at a 911 dispatch in Franklin County.
Cool.
So, yeah, definitely want to thank everybody. So, heck yeah.
All right. Well, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep fighting in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
and we hope to see you all next week.
Bye.